Well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for keeping it TV 47. My name is Betty Kialo. So glad that you made time for the show tonight. Well, I hope you had a great week, a great day. And if not, you know what? I'm going to try to make it just a little bit better. We have a great show coming for you right now. And of course, on the show tonight, we have an extensive coverage of the day's events by our brilliant reporters. But we also have the favorites too. Well, starting with Willis, the word master, joining us live and direct from Kisii County. Let's just say a quick hello. Willis, how are you today?
Fine, thanks, Betty. How are you?
All right, Willis, I think the word this week is conscientiously. I saw somebody tagging you on X, and I was just having a laugh about it.
Betty, what really amused me today is where somebody just sent me a message after calling me, telling me when Kenya sneezes, people the correct pronunciation later, but let them check and guide them on what to do.
All right, thank you so much, Willis. Looking forward to which is which later on in the show. I think that word is going to give people a little bit of problem, but let's see what's going to happen later on. So, of course, we have our interview segment, and let me tell you, this person is a favorite of many, many Kenyans. He's a former governor of West Pokot County, known for his peacemaking efforts, a myriad of development projects when he was in leadership, and still right now as we talk, his love for the farm, but also the fact that he's just a hilarious guy. Remember, kijana fupi nono round, meticulous. I'm talking about the one and only Professor John Prof. Lonyangapuo. I'll invite him on the set. Professor, karibu sana, njoo tusalimie kidogo. And we are wearing red. Oh my goodness, how are you doing?
Very well. Yourself?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to see you. Say hi to the Kenyans. They've been so excited that you're coming on the show.
But where are these Kenyans?
They're here. You see this camera? Here they are.
I'm not seeing them.
Well, they're seeing you, millions of them.
So you squeeze them into this thing?
We squeeze them there and we make sure that they're watching us, kabisa.
Hello, Kenyans. I am one of you, and I'm in this studio today to talk and greet and hear from you, as you hear from me as well.
Absolutely. And Prof, you haven't changed. The last time I was with you in West Pokot County, still looking sharp. What is the secret?
The secret is to trust in God and live well with people and eat also Kenyan food. Yes.
There we go. Professor, I'm looking forward to hearing a lot from you, the conversation about where you've been, what have you been up to, and what you're doing in terms of West Pokot and the peacemaking efforts.
Exactly. And the whole of North Rift, not West Pokot alone.
Okay, there you go. All right, Professor, karibu sana. Let me invite you. Don't go away. Don't go away. Let's just have a seat.
Good.
You'll be able to follow the news from the comfort of the studio. Karibu sana. So, guys, there we go. Professor John Prof. Lonyangapuo is in studio. We're going to be having that conversation with him later. And also remember, we have a guest anchor. And you know what? This guy makes the best voice impressions of different people. I hear he has the best impression of former President Uhuru Kenyatta. He's going to be reading the news for us tonight. It's going to be a great, great show. Let's start with the highlights. President William Ruto engages Kenyan X-users on a space despite technical hitches.
When the police arrest somebody, they must declare to that person that they are policemen, they are arresting this person for this and that and that and that, and they take him to a place that is known. So that is a matter that I will take up and I will deal with it.
The president apologizing for police brutality in the online forum. President Ruto has announced a series of measures by his administration to reduce government expenditure.
47 state corporations with overlapping and duplicating functions will be dissolved, resulting in the elimination of their operational and maintenance costs.
After extensive consultations, Ruto stated that they have decided to cut various costs. The first protester to die during the anti-finance bill protests, Rex Kanyike Masai, who was shot in Nairobi, buried today in Kamudhanga village in Machakos County.
To the policeman who fired a bullet in my son's body. Hope you're happy now. But remember, God can never be bribed.
All right, let's begin the news coverage tonight. Now, President William Ruto has appointed an 8-member task force whose mandate is to conduct a forensic audit over the country's public debt. Nancy Onyango has been appointed as the chair of the task force that shall operate for 3 months before presenting its report to the president. Sheila Chelangat has the details.
Over the years, Kenya's public debt has grown, increasing from about 2 trillion a decade ago to 11.4 trillion as of February 2024. And so questions have always emerged on the spending of public resources and what exactly is the nature of our debt, and hence the calls for an audit.
Public debt is and continues to be a major point of engagement and conversation in Kenya.
This task force shall be led by Nancy Onyango, whose vice chair will be Professor Louis G. Franceschi. Its members will be CPA Philip Kaikai, LSK President Faith Odhiambo, Engineer Shama Kiteme and Vincent Kimosop. The task force shall have 2 joint secretaries, Abraham Rugo and Aaron Thagea.
This audit will provide the people of Kenya with clarity on the extent and nature of our debt, how public resources have been expended.
The task force is tasked with verifying the current stock of public and publicly guaranteed debt, reconciling the proceeds of loan with the requisite appropriation, and also reconciling the loan repayments with the terms of the facility. Also, the task force shall assess whether the country obtained value for the money in terms of the loan, cost of the projects financed, returns on investment, and equity.
And will also recommend proposals for managing our public debt in a manner that is sustainable and does not burden future generations.
This team shall be in office for 3 months and thereafter shall present its report to the president. Sheila Chelangat for TV 47.
President William Ruto has apologized to the country's youth for the killings of their peers which occurred during the anti-government protests, promising that he will walk the talk and ensure that no abductions or killings will happen under his regime. In an engagement with the youth on social media platform X, the president is also committed to deal with corruption amid calls to fire all his cabinet secretaries instead of a major reorganization. Our senior reporter Elizabeth Mutuku has the details.
Today, President William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza Brigade confronted a generation that has repeatedly said it is fearless, tribeless and courageous. In his promise to engage the youth amid anti-government protests, thousands of Kenyans streamed the X space hosted by State House in conjunction with prominent figure online Kevin Monare, popularly known on the X platform as Osama Otero.
Expected leaders from all walks of life, from CAs, PS, members of parliament, all gathered in the space. The engagement between President William Ruto and young people, hoping to hear what young people had to say. This seemingly being the new dawn in matters communication and how to engage young people.
After listening to their ordeals, the Commander-in-Chief offered an apology and promised to follow thorough on addressing abductions and killings. However, President William Ruto dismissed reports of mass killings in Githurai during the anti-finance bill and anti-government protests last week.
I regret your situation. If that is the kind of treatment you have gone through, I apologize. And I will take action in this manner. No Kenya. And I made a commitment to the people of Kenya that there will be no extrajudicial killing. There will be no Rivayala. There will be no, we used to have 20, 30 bodies in Rivayala. When I came into office, I said nothing of that is ever going to happen. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that that will not happen under my watch. However,
the youth who had the opportunity to ask questions angrily confronted the president on matters such as police brutality and criticized what they termed as his lack of empathy. They even questioned whether he had spoken with the families of the young people who were killed during the demonstrations.
Lives were lost, and one life lost is one too many. I have said in my statement that as government, we are going to support the families to make sure that they bury their loved ones. I have said we are going to support those who have been injured in hospital. I have said that there is a mechanism where the police are held to account.
The youth's demand for President William Ruto to dismiss cabinet were also voiced during the engagement. They criticized what they saw as arrogance and opulence among leaders, urging the commander-in-chief to tackle corruption decisively.
Number one, we will operate a digital system through and through, whether it is with KEMSA, we are digitizing KEMSA, we are digitizing commodity distribution, we are digitizing matters to do with the all health hospitals. In fact, the program that is going on now, we have grouped hospitals into PCNs.
Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Nairobi.
Now, in an attempt to close an almost 346 billion budget deficit created by his decision to abandon planned tax increases in the face of widespread opposition, President William Ruto has suggested about equal amounts of extra borrowing and spending cuts. In this regard, the head of state announced a 177 billion budget cut to seal the budget hole. Mike Kagwongo has the details.
President William Ruto has now stated that he will seek Parliament for budget cuts totaling to 177 billion shillings for the fiscal year that began this month, and that the government will raise borrowing by roughly 169 billion shillings, presumably in response to widespread protests against the finance bill.
We have since, after extensive consultations, struck a middle ground, and we will be proposing to the National Assembly a budget cut of not the entire 346, but a budget cut of 177 billion and borrowing the difference.
The head of state said from a previous estimate of 3.3%, Kenya's budget deficit for the 2024-2025 fiscal year is now predicted to be 4.6% of GDP. This would involve maintaining funding for a milk stability and fertilizer plan that safeguards farmers, as well as employing secondary school teachers and medical interns.
Whatever we are going to borrow, the difference will increase our fiscal deficit from what I intended to be 3.3% of our GDP. It will now go up to 4.6% of GDP. Still lower than last year, and will be used to fund some of our critical government services.
The liquidation of 47 state enterprises, a 50% cutback in government advisors, a suspension of public office bearers' non-essential travel, and the elimination of budget lines for the spouses of the president and deputy president are just a few of the austerity measures he mentioned.
We will use the money that we will borrow to protect funding for some of the critical areas that the people of Kenya have asked me to protect.
The government's commitment to improving efficiency and openness in serving Kenyan citizens is reflected in the prescribed measures, according to President William Ruto. Mike Kagwongo, TV47, Nairobi.
President William Ruto has promised to make radical changes in his government due to the public's pressure on wastage of public resources. The president has promised to start with the immediate reduction of at least 50% of government advisors. Paul Kirobi tells us more.
Finally, the head of state, President William Ruto, has bowed to pressure emanating from Gen Z youth, whose aim was to ensure he does not allow wasteful spending in his administration. One of the primary issues the head of state had to immediately address pertains to the number of employed people receiving salaries and other benefits from his government. Among the new changes made immediately while addressing the nation on Friday is reducing the number of his advisors within the public service by 50%.
To fill the position of Chief Administrative Secretaries is hereby suspended. The number of advisors in government shall be reduced by 50% within the public service.
Despite the president promising to make radical changes in his administration in the past, the issue of ghost workers has been one of the main challenges that has been affecting the country's governance. 3 months ago, the Control of Budget and the Office of the Auditor General complained about overstaffing as one of the key factors contributing to wastage in the public sector. These changes, according to the president, are set to take the country on a trajectory towards economic takeoff. This new initiative is expected to align with the enhanced austerity measures committed to implementing and to align government expenditures with the budgetary implications of the withdrawal of the Finance Bill 2024. Paul Kerobi, TV47, Nairobi.
Protester Rex Kanyike Masai, who died 3 weeks ago after being shot by a police officer during the Gen Z demonstrations, has been buried today at Kamudhanga village in Machakos County. Thousands of mourners turned out for the burial, some chanting anti-government slogans while calling on the president to take responsibility over a number of issues. Have a look.
At exactly 1 p.m. on Friday, thousands of mourners arrived at Kamudhanga village in Machakos County to accompany the body of protester Rex Masai, who was hailed as a new generation freedom fighter. A portrait of Rex Masai, erected in the center of the road leading to Kamudhanga shopping center, welcomed mourners to the burial service.
Good evening.
Human rights activists covered Rex's body with the national flag, symbolizing his recognition as a modern freedom fighter. They also handed his mother another national flag in memory of Masai's contribution towards the new generation efforts to what they said was to liberate the country.
And if they ask you who is our leader for this movement, it's the Kenyan Constitution. Every single thing we're demanding as young people of this country is in the Constitution.
An emotional plea for justice was made by Masai's mother, who called for the arrest of the police officer who shot him.
When his friends tried to tear gas, the ones who tried to help my son to the hospital, you tear gas them. When they tried to aid my son, so that life cannot go out of him, you refuse my son to be helped. Justice for Rex! Justice for Rex! Justice for my son! Justice for Rex! Justice for my son and the other boys who were killed! Justice for Rex!
Masai's brother and sisters eulogized their elder brother as a noble man who loved Kenya.
You are not merely my brother, you are my hero. Your courage knew no bounds, a testament to unwavering spirit that faced challenges head-on, never faltering in the face of adversity.
Political leaders led by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka criticized President William Ruto administration for failing to heed the call for Kenyans for good governance.
If Ruto were president, he would be here today to pay his last respects to the young man who's lying here.
Justice for? Justice for?
I want to say that the greatest responsibility lies with William Samoei Ruto. If William Ruto will not prosecute the killer of Rex, then we must do private prosecution. But we ask Almighty God, let this be the end of us burying our children this way.
Kusema kwamba atavunjilia mbali
tukafanya deal on Kenya Airways. Ruto usithubutu to take the national carrier the way you have taken some other companies.
However, area MP Caleb Mole, who voted yes for the withdrawn Finance Bill 2023-2024, was missing in action. Nicholas Mbai reporting for TV47, Machakos County.
Rest well, Rex. Now, tonight, Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria was forced to cut short his speech in Nyeri County during the burial of business magnate Maina Wanjigi, father to businessman and politician Jimmy Wanjigi. Well, this is after a section of the mourners interrupted him with "Ruto must go" chants. Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga, on the other hand, praised the youth for their bravery in agitating for change and challenged the church to stand with Kenyans in their quest for justice. Our senior political affairs reporter Apollo Kamau has the details.
The burial of business magnate Maina Wanjigi, father to businessman Jimmy Wanjigi, attended by politicians across the divide and Kenyans from all walks of life, saw a section of mourners vent their frustrations with President William Ruto's administration on Public Service Cabinet Secretary Moses Kuria, whom they forced to cut short his speech with chants of "Ruto must go."
You know, today we are more concerned about development, barabara, maji. We are talking about asante sana. Thank you.
Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga, while lauding Gen Zs for their resilience during the finance bill protests, challenged the church to stand with Kenyans while telling Ruto to weed out corruption in the civil service. His remarks were echoed by Siaya Governor James Orengo.
When children of this country come out in their large numbers to say something is wrong, the church itself should stand with these children. The Gen Z, they told me that Baba, kaa nyumbani, umefanya ya kutosha, tutaendelea, niko nyumbani lakini niko behind you.
God sent Moses and his brother Aaron to talk to the Pharaoh. Moses went to tell the Pharaoh that let my people go. A moment has come that the church must stand with the people. The church must stand with the people.
Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga lauded President Ruto for banning Harambes, saying he was vindicated by the rejection of the finance bill, which he opposed, and hit out at the Ruto administration for being out of touch with Kenyans grappling with the high cost of living.
Ado mnakula KFC. You can see the kind of leaders we have. They have lost touch with reality. I was the first man to say that there was a problem with that finance bill. Did you hear me say it? What did I say? I said finance bill. They called me names, spoke about me in parliament for 2 hours. They said I was clueless and I didn't know what I was saying. I posed to them a question between them and now, and me, who now knows what he was saying.
I remember the last day when there was parliament being attacked. I tried to get Maina off the streets and you tell me, yeah, just in half an hour, Dad. I said, there's shooting. He said, no, just half an hour. We did not stop them. We did not get in their way. None of us as parents, it is their future, it is their lives, and they are standing up for it.
Tafadhali, wacheni kukula chakula ya watoto, wacheni kukula chakula ya wagonjwa. Let us be there to serve Kenyans, those who get the opportunity to do so.
Apol Kamau, TV47.
All right, a large clinical trial in South Africa and Uganda has shown that a twice-yearly injection of the new pre-exposure prophylaxis drug gives young women total protection from HIV infection. The trial tested whether the 6-month injection of Lonyangapuo would provide a better protection against HIV infection than 2 other drugs, both of which are daily pills. All the 3 medications and the pre-exposure prophylaxis or PrEP drugs. And our reporter of Health and Science, Elizabeth Otieno, has the details of that.
On the 20th of June 2024, Gilead Sciences, a pharmaceutical company, released a press release, a statement that has since renewed hope to over 39 million people living with HIV in the world. The report revolved around a HIV breakthrough after a drug trial revealed that injection twice a year is 100% effective against HIV infection. The trial, with over 5,000 participants, took place at 3 sites in Uganda and 25 sites in South Africa to test the efficacy of Lonyangapuo and 2 other PrEP drugs. The study revealed that the Lonyangapuo injection, which is administered once in every 6 months, interferes with the HIV capsid, which is a protein shell that protects HIV's genetic material and enzymes needed for replication. The Eastern and Southern Africa were regions of focus, bearing in mind that young women from these regions make up the population of those who bear the brunt of new HIV infections. The results revealed that none of the 2,134 women who received Lonyangapuo contracted HIV, since there was 100% efficiency. However, researchers warn that PrEP should be provided alongside HIV self-testing, access to condoms, screening and treatment for sexually transmitted infections, and access to contraception for women of childbearing potential. The plan is that the Purpose 1 trial will go on, but now in an open-label phase. This means that study participants will be unblinded, meaning they will be told whether they have been in the injectable or oral PrEP drugs on trial. Additionally, a sister trial is also underway and is being conducted in a number of regions, including some sites in Africa among transgender and non-binary people who have sex with men. This sister trial is said to be important as there have been differences in effectiveness among different groups. Gilead Sciences say that within the next couple of months, the company will submit the dossier with all the results to a number of country regulators, particularly the Ugandan and South African regulators. The World Health Organization will also review the data and may issue recommendations. Additionally, Gilead Sciences has assured governments that they will be able to purchase the drugs affordably and will be offered to all who want it and need protection against HIV. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Sports News brought to you by Maybets. Join Maybets leo upate free bet papo hapo. Fanya hivi, chagua home team to win, yani number 1, au draw X, au away team 2 kwa game ya siku ya free bet. Weka namba yako ya simu, weka password ya account yako, chagua submit free bet. Utapata free bet kwa account yako ya Maybets. Usisahau kuverify account yako. Kama hutakuwa verified, utapoteza free bet yako after 2 days. Betting is strictly for 18 years and over. Play responsibly. Terms and conditions apply. BCLB number 0000578.
Maybet na minia na najishindia. Pesa inavutia, pesa inavutia.
All right, let's now take a look at sporting action. President William Ruto today evening officially flagged off Team Kenya for the 2024 Paris Olympics at State House in Nairobi. The Olympics and Paralympics captains received the flags from the head of state ahead of the global competition, which kicks off on the 26th of July to August 11th. Tony Kwalanda was at the ceremony and tells us why the athletes left State House a happy lot.
Team Kenya for the 2024 Paris Olympics officially received the national flag from President Dr. William Ruto at State House in Nairobi Friday evening. Olympics athletes representative Kevin Wekesa and Paralympics representative Asiya Mohammed were handed the flags ahead of the global competition, which kicks off on 26th July to 11th August.
For the national anthem.
My very best wishes from all of us, the 50 million of us, to you. As you go to Paris, please know that our goodwill, our prayers, our support in every way is right behind you.
Kenya will be represented by over 80 athletes who will participate in athletics, rugby, swimming, fencing, judo, and volleyball.
In the spirit of the austerity measures that you have taken, there is no space, there is no room for joyriders in Paris. There is only space for Team Kenya to fly the Kenyan flag in Paris.
They are also requesting for a high-performance environment for the full 4 years of the competition, not just 2 months heading into major games.
We will go there, out there, do our best, give it all, like really all.
Over 10,000 athletes will be converging in Paris Olympics for these Summer Olympics. And of course, Kenya is sending a contingent of over 80 athletes. The Olympics Kenyan-made official kit was also unveiled, and the athletes will receive boosted cash rewards and allowances. Tony Kwalanda, TV47 Sport.
All right, all the best to our team Kenya. Let them come back with the gold. All right, so we want to cross over to our next segment. But before then, there's so much feedback. A lot of excitement about Professor. Let me just sample a couple of them. Ambrose Nyaris, you're saying you're watching. Vasco Moore, you're saying you're watching it live. Somebody here says that is my high school director. I'm going to ask him about that. Also, Vanes Dom, you say that's my governor. I'm tuned in. Thank you so much. Keep the comments coming, and I'll be sampling as we proceed with the show. For now, let's take a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to be talking to Professor John Krop Lonyangapuo.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni Ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
What point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business. It's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries, and turning dreams into reality.
Hata ambao ni pesa ya kusave, wallahi. Ambao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way.
where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
And welcome back to this Friday right here on TV47. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're about to get into that interesting convo with our good professor. But before then, let's just link up kidogo too with Willis, the Word Master. Willis, are you still there?
I'm right here, Betty. How is the going up there?
The going is great, Willis. You know about this this saying by our good professor, Kijana nono fupi round. Do you remember that?
Lonyangapuo. You see, the problem is, in fact, even my prompter in Kisi, Alfayo Kombo, was asking me something, Betty. He wanted to know whether it is, whether we say Lonyangapuo or Lonyangapuo. And he also wanted the great professor to let us know if it is Cherangany or Cherangani, if he may be knowing how to pronounce that place.
All right, Willis, he's right here to answer that. Prof, how do you pronounce it? Lonyanga or Lonyanga?
Depends on how you put it. They all mean the same.
Okay.
Lonyanga.
Okay.
With an apostrophe.
Yes.
Or Lonyanga. Without.
Lonyanga or Lonyanga. All right, and Cherangani or Cherangani? Cherangani.
So it depends on how you put it. I think Willis, who is the Englishman.
Yes, he's the Englishman.
Will now tell us what is the difference when you put that apostrophe,
that thing,
and then this one, or without. But to me, they mean the same.
There's the same thing.
When it's a name.
Yes, lovely. All right, Willis, we'll get back to you shortly. For now, let's talk to Professor. Well, how have you been for the last 2 years? What have you been up to? Kila mtu alikuwa anasema alienda wapi, ako wapi?
Professor yuko, ile umeniona. Si umesema sijabadilika?
Hujabadilika, kwanza unakaa the same, maybe even just a little even younger. Ni stress hakuna ama ni nini?
Kumbe, occasionally we need, that's why wazungus, they plan for a holiday. 1 year in advance, they set apart money.
Yes.
And they go for holiday. Africa here, we work 24 hours. That's the way Professor was. We work all through.
I understand. Oh my goodness. And the last time I was with you, we were in West Pokot. Hata nikapatiwa jina Chaporwala. You remember that?
Yes.
In that ceremony, there were so many. It was such a colorful ceremony. It was a good time there.
Now that you are in TV47,
yes,
you need to move this studio one day, again like you did the other one,
yes.
So that the viewer can be enriched right from the grassroots or at the bottom.
Okay.
So that you can be able
to see what you've been doing.
What it is,
So what have you been up to? I know we talked this week, you told me about the bulls, about the farming. Now you're saying, you're a farmer apart from, of course, the other official position.
Exactly. I want to, at this point, thank Kenyans for the time I was in leadership. They really stood by me and worked with me as I was doing development with my team. And particularly, I got a lot of support also from the national government. Remember, we have 2 layers of government, national and counties. So we worked closely with the then President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Deputy William Ruto, our President today, and my team. And West Pokot, that was known negatively for a mighty long time.
Absolutely.
As an area for cat rustling. In a miraculous way and by the grace of God, we were able to change things. Men began to go to school. We even developed a program called adult literacy programs, for which we decided to put them there. And we got teachers who would also move around as they were grazing the animals.
Wow.
We involved our neighborhood, Elgeyo Marakwet. We involved our neighborhood, those one of Baringo, Turkana, was in and Trans Nzoia, and Uganda as well.
Yes, yes.
And that's why you could not see me mainly around Nairobi.
Yes.
And it required that you guys needed to come there.
Yes.
And it worked.
Yes, yes.
So when I got this break from politics, active.
Active, yes.
So a politician is always a politician.
Yes, yes.
Somehow I've been at home. I stay at the boundary of West Pokot and Trans Nzoia, doing some little farming and so on.
But don't call it little, Prof.
What do you call it?
It's not little. That farm was humongous, and the maize and everything. Yeah.
So this is it, that if you heard my speech, concession speech, when I was handing over to the incoming governor, I actually said, for stability to be there must be a winner. And winner can even defeat you by even one vote. Democracy dictates the winner has been found.
Yes, yes.
So that's how I led Kenyans and told people our leader is this. And even when our new president came, personally and many others, we said no. For Kenya to remain united and focus the way our forefathers planned in 1963, a lot of people even poured blood for this land to be redeemed and for leadership to come in the hands of the Kenyans to plan their things. So seasons of change occasionally arrive. They even arrive in a manner you will not know. And those in leadership sometimes can even stay until you even don't pay attention. And sometimes things just change. And when it happens, there is no time for lamentation. You quickly pick up and begin to restore and see what needs to be done. So that's how we were able to do in West Pokot that time. I have relaxed.
You've relaxed.
Properly for 2 years.
But do you miss the politics? Do you miss the game actively?
Yeah.
You know? And what do you miss most about it?
But really not much now, because our president graciously the other day gave me to chair a water board in the same region. So we have coined a program, Water for Peace. So the North Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency, which I am the chairman, and I don't know whether you might not have gotten time, you would have shown Kenyans.
No, we have the pictures, don't worry.
No.
Yeah, we have the pictures.
You will see later when you ask.
Yes.
For a long time, including now our government even have decided to send army to go and disarm cat rustlers. You know, that one is bringing, what are we saying? The police and the GSU were able, and Andy Stockton was able to do that. But it looks like that thing had become a thorn in the flesh. So we are saying all government agencies, all government departments, every Kenyan, unite and begin to see how to address some of these germinating problems that are in our land. In our water agencies, we have over almost 17 water agencies in Kenya, scattered all over, strategically placed in the whole republic to offer sometimes huge reservoirs of water which can be used by the water boards and the agencies, counties. Like Eldo was in Eldoret, for example. Kape was in West Pokot, Kapenguria. Those one now, we offer the water in bulk, then they sell. So when we coined now, where I am, we decided to coin, say now, wherever we are, begin to see how you can use the privilege you have been given to serve Kenyans better. Don't wait to say, let's call Professor Gindiki and his team to come and restore peace. But can this water do something as well? Yes, if people are taking it, why not? And those of you who are in agriculture, can you also use that for peace? Those of you who are traders, I mean, what are you also doing the same? So it is a way we can be able to use the programs we have at hand to continue knitting our republic as one, as before.
All right.
Yes.
I mean, there's so much, just talking about what you've just raised about peace and, you know, leaders being able to use what they can. I'm sure you've been seeing, you know, everything that has been happening in the country for the last, say, 2 weeks or so, and even the, you know, the changes that have been made today. What is your feeling about, fine, you're not in active politics, but obviously, like you said, a politician is a politician. What is the feeling about everything that has been happening leading up to today, when even the president spoke to people on X, on Twitter?
That's now the new forums, that's the new platforms nowadays that have arrived.
How different do you feel it is from your time, the time that you were, say, governor?
No, things are changing very fast, Betty, to the extent that I don't know what will come after X tomorrow.
After Gen Z, there's now Alpha.
Yes. But I want to join the president and to join all Kenyans of goodwill to really say pole to the families that were affected. This thing that erupted, in a twinkle of an eye, we were able to see what happened. And those of us who are in the rural area, we were just watching on TV and wondering, this thing has arrived. And it dawned on us who are leaders, me included, and I think that's why our head of state was also pained to see how we can be able to talk. Changes come, which we must be ready.
Yes, yes.
Remember in 1963, just before that, 1951, the famous Kapenguria 6 were brought to Kapenguria, where I come from, led by Mr. Jomo Kenyatta, to liberate our land. So many things happened, and suddenly the urge to unite and liberate came. And because of things of that time could not happen. And then remember again, the change constitution. Kina Matiba and everybody, it came, change. And rebuild the section 2A, or do you remember that time? Very many things happened. So until we now have a new constitution, I was privileged to be serving Kenyans that time as a PS in the Ministry of Industry and later on in Public Works, where our president, noble president, the late Mwai Kibaki, really put us together with all the challenges. You remember the post-election violence?
Yes, absolutely.
He really went through, and because as a result of that, the Kenyan spirit woke up. And we were able to wake up and rise from dust. And you saw the leap, the way development came. There was a grand coalition government. Development came, and we worked, Kenyans.
Yes.
So now, suddenly, God has used our little kids, our children. Now,
it's nice that you call them little kids,
Yes, they are little, because suddenly they were able to wake up with whatever happened, because we call them Generation Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
I don't know what the other generation was called, and others will also come. So to me, I would say, Kenyans, this is a moment that has suddenly happened. Our children are able to awaken us to see what has happened. I would say those people in authority and leadership, like me and the top leaders now in the land, take it positively.
Absolutely.
And begin to make something out of it. For what do we say about the Kenyan spirit that suddenly sees a problem, we must seize it and work with it. So to me, I want to say, although we suffered, we lost life. I'm also told that criminals, we go wherever there is a gathering of people, you may find a few others that may also want to bring problems. So to me, we want to say this generation is very learned. I'm a professor. I was a professor in Moi University, in University of Egerton, myself, teaching maths. And we chant so many of them coming out. These generations that I've seen are exceedingly and extremely learned, these little guys, you see. And because of the space we are in, they can access information at any level, anywhere, anytime. To the extent that we need to tap that privilege opportunity. In West Pokot, when I was the governor, we realized that these guys Like when I was entering West Pokot, I had from 1 to Form 4 only 17,000. But when I was exiting 5 years, over 60,000.
Wow.
Because we pumped everybody to go to school. After finishing, what follows?
Yes.
Then it dawned on us, a mighty thing is going to germinate. They will look for jobs.
Okay.
And that's why I'm requesting our government, where I am, including even where we are as water boards, can we create internship programs for them? Can we see how we can go for mass industrialization? Industry, even this water. Every county should have their own processing plant for water, so that people are forced to buy water like milk. You feel good when you're able to take quality things. And industrialization, these products requires people to work there, requires people who are going to sell, so it's a massive, and there will be a lot of trade. And when I say industry, look at in Eldoret, we have an industry there. There was an industry called Rivertex, for example.
Yes.
And if you watch at dawn, the way people are going in, over 10,000 people are going to a factory.
Yeah.
To me, I don't care how much they earn, very, very much, although unions and labor know what to do.
Yes.
But I'm also happy in the evening when I see traffic coming out tired, going home with something for their children.
Yes, yes.
Don't you think that's what we need?
Yes.
Kikomi also was in Kisumu. Tika Mills were also there. So to me, I think the current president and the current team have an opportunity to seize. And I've seen the stamina of our president. He really needs to push for these young people, our children, who are now the backbone, the engine of our land.
Yes.
They need to have something to do. With their skill, some actually can give a lot of opportunity here. We visited one time when I was PS with, he was our Minister of Agriculture at that time, the current president. Singapore, amazingly, all the youths, everybody is involved. And then in an agency, they even make this small fellow, the new top layer from Harvard, they have come from University of Nairobi. With their skill, if you are a top, we don't need to waste you for the next 10, 20 years. This is when you become the boss. Come with your, right now, while it is still fresh, and lead us. And then the one who was the top becomes like an advisor. And I'm telling you, countries have leaped. To me, that is the challenge, and that is an opportunity we need to see. Now that our children and our new generation who are here are learned, we need also to benefit from them.
Yes.
And even the leaders who are on the throne at the moment, some are even outside. This is the moment to take stock, and I will ask governors. Governors are the people at the moment, because of the challenge that has now come. It's not the president alone that is going to see how this young generation that are sharply educated can be absorbed.
Yes.
County governors.
Yes, yes.
In West Pokot, when I was there, we crafted two programs. One, County Community Service, CCS, which we employed about 50 people per location, but you put them as a project so that you don't look like you are paying people salary.
Yes, yes.
So if you have President Uhuru Kenyatta and President William Ruto who are calling it Kasi Mtaani, there we will now subdivide people into many areas. Health guys who are going to be in the health, those who are going to be in agriculture, those who can be in roads, and we bought a lot of wheelbarrows. Now we did know that a government will come that honors a wheelbarrow and shovels.
Yes, yes.
Let me tell you what a tractor and a grader can do, even people can do.
Yes, yes, yes.
But that doesn't mean that we are reducing people to manual laborers. But for these guys to get their, what do you call when they want to chat in their phones? Bundle. Where do you get the bundles? Whose chicken are you going to sell? So when you give them that privilege, let me tell you, can move. And then secondly, we also have like internship. Okay? For the other one, community service, anybody can work, even elders. But internship, after coming out of university or colleges, and because we also pay bursaries as counties, give them opportunity to work.
All right, Governor.
Where do they work when there is no industry? Let them be teachers as well.
Okay, I couldn't.
For 1 year as a way to develop. But
Okay.
industry is the way to go. We must think about as Kenyans, because we are producing our children very, top layer. Where are they going to go? And we need their skill.
All right.
Isn't it?
All right. We'll continue the conversation shortly because I also want to hear a lot about Water for Peace. I know you're very passionate about that project. And we'll take a short commercial break, but we're coming back with Professor. I'll also check to see what you want me to ask him. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are...
Welcome back to this Friday. Looking at some tweets over here on X. Peter Walker, you're saying you're watching live from Mombasa, loving the show. Thank you so much. Kipto Titus, you're saying, greet my governor. Watching you live from Kacheliba, Karun. Location, yeah, it's a village. It's location, yeah. Okay, that's in West Pokot?
It's supposed to be, yes, I know it. It's a village.
It's a village?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Kipto, for watching the show. All right, Governor, I know you're very, Professor, I know you're very passionate about,
Governor on leave.
Governor on leave.
Yes.
As people are saying, ask him about 2027, but we'll get to that. But I know you're very passionate about Water for Peace. There's a water project in Elgeyo Marakwet and of course West Pokot. What have you been able to achieve from this peace project?
Betty, what we did, like I mentioned, the president graciously gave me an opportunity to join his government as a chairman of North Rift Valley Water Works Development Agency, which is headquartered. Our office is in Eldoret, but it covers Turkana County. Remember those counties that had challenges of cattle rustling?
Yes.
West Pokot County, Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet County, and Uasin-Gishu. That's a very fast area. Sometimes it has ups and downs.
Yes.
And when you zoom in around the border of West Pokot and Elgeyo Marakwet, we have had a painful problem called cattle rustling, cattle theft, which has graduated to be killings. In my time,
is that still happening up until today?
Yes, occasional. In my time, when I was the governor, together with my brother Tolkos, who now finished his term, and his deputy, who is now the current Governor Wesley, and my brother Nanok of Turkana, we came up with a formula. How do we hinge up these communities together? That time, because we came up with various techniques.
Okay.
But now that I am not in the governor's seat, I am in the chair of water.
Yes.
We crafted a formula that said Water for Peace. So the hotspot of Elgeyo Marakwet And West Pokot is around an area called Litter in Ilko Marakwet, Chisekon in West Pokot. And these are people who have intermarried, but the killings that have decided to grow there.
Wait, they're intermarrying, but they're still...
Yeah, and then the devil just came to migrate. In fact, I was telling people, it looks like all relatives of Satan in the whole world migrated to come to the Kerio Valley here. And we want to remove that spirit.
That's quite harsh.
We remove that spirit. Because what do you think? What do you call it? Even the army have come there. You remember we feel for him. We lost our the army man, Ogola. You remember his helicopter.
Yes, yes.
Around the same spot. It's around the same area. Nobody shot, but the thing just came down. We said sorry for our country and his family. So now this formula of using the government program in your hands to introduce peace. Don't wait for the army man to come with a gun only.
Yes, yes,
no.
yes.
In fact, we want to request the president with time how the guns can be removed from the hands of everybody so that even the army man can go back to the barracks. Then let the water, now people come and fetch the water, do their onions. There is a lot of watermelons there, better than nowhere else. Yeah, because of the irrigation schemes going on there. So we did some water the other day. And when we go to Pokot and the Marakwet together, amazingly, first thing they did was to rush for the water. So we realized this water is life.
Okay.
So somehow, although it looks little, but it is working. So we want to ask.
How does it work? So
of course now, when we are taking water to the other community, you also do the same, this community.
Okay.
Then now you call the other people, Minister of Agriculture, come and teach them issues of irrigation. The other agency dealing with irrigation, come and work with them. And it is interlinked.
Yes, yes.
So there's a lot of now new farming coming up where you do a lot of irrigations. And then they bring all their products all the way, their food all the way to Nairobi. To me, this is now the way we should go. And when we were able to see, like I showed you, when we opened that water, everybody came. And since that day, it's now running to almost a month or so. They have been calm to the extent that they are now back to their houses there.
Oh, okay.
So the government is also planning, and we are grateful the president is now doing rebuilding schools that were broken and giving iron sheets and buildings, assisting families that were destroyed to go back. We don't want to hear that in the middle of Kenya.
Yes, yes.
Right in the middle of our country. That's why I think the led by Kindiki and Dwale, they're working on a formula how disarmament can be done.
Okay.
And that's the way to go.
But this thing has been going on, Professor, for such a long time. Do you think that probably this Water for Peace is going to be the last nail on the coffin?
For us, whenever you are trying anything petty, however small it is, put all your hope there. Because when you start doubting it, yourself,
yes, yes,
definitely it will not go.
It will not work.
So when we begin to speak life to it and we begin to work and also practically be there, sometimes we allow people, even junior officers, to go there and you don't go. What are you saying? So we have decided to do that. And we also form in the committees, where a committee of this community and this community, they become one.
Okay.
And they also form peace committees. You
Okay.
remember, we had also nice peace committees before.
Yes.
We need to revive them. But ultimately, which is non-negotiable, is to remove guns from civilians. So that it is only authorized officers in Kenya who should carry it. The other one should be asked, even if you are at the border of wherever, who gave you the license and what is it for? When you find people carrying those things, it looks like we are not tightly, properly as a government on the ground there. To the extent that somebody wants to protect themselves. Why? So on our perspective as a water team, linking up with our security team, when the teacher fraternity, you remember now the teachers were affected, students were affected. So now they are coming back.
Okay.
And that's the way to go. And I'm hoping all our agencies that are in coastal region, others are in central Kenya, the water ports, should also do the same.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure that You don't wait for the other department. There's a new terminology I just had the other day. Collective responsibility. Yes. So when you find things are not working in agriculture and you are in health or you are in roads, there's no harm for you speaking government program the way you know how your colleagues spoke about it.
Okay.
Although you don't monopolize also. So sometimes somebody said, why are you talking about my field? That's not yours. You are just given there for a few days.
For a few years.
It changes may even come.
All right. Professor, you said that now you are, you're a governor on leave. I've seen a lot of people saying about 2027. So are we likely to see you back on the ballot at that time?
Grace and the privilege to reach there at that time, we will speak about it that time. But you know, Kenya gives a governor an opportunity to run for 2 terms.
Yes.
I have finished
one
term.
Yes.
Meaning there is 1 term left. So if my people find it okay, I join them that time, then I am certainly sure I have 1 more term to go. But I am a leader to stay like everybody else, because I've been asking some of them, when you are exiting as a governor, make sure the legacy is proper. Don't steal.
Yes.
Don't destroy. Where are you going tomorrow morning? Look at the governors who finished the other day. See, they are roaming around like everybody else.
Yes.
Even if they think, oh, we'll have a cut and a lot of money. Which money? Unless you save your salary.
Yes.
So we will need them around. A number of them now assisting our president as advisors. Some of them are in boards like myself.
Yes, yes.
So our country needs us at a time such as this. Like now, the ignition of our children and the young generation you had shown the other day, it is for us to take it positively and guide.
Yes.
Not to snatch the key from them and tell them off. Yes. No, blend it.
Okay.
And then see how we can be able to go.
All right. Governor, it has been such a wonderful time talking to you. And of course, people know you as, remember the people used to call you the king of memes. Because do we still have that funny bone, with you right now? Because you're not in active politics where you'd stand in front of a rally and you'd have to crack a joke or two.
Yes, that's a gift. I was born like that. I was born like that. So, and then I speak humorously to drive a point home. And I can describe it and make sure that it fits. Like this the stubborn gene fellow who was in my county at that time. Every day he was stubborn. We decided... after I spoke,
yes,
we told him to look for a job.
You're talking about who? The
Yeah. And I found him the other day. The guy is now a very noble man.
So he's actually gotten a job. Now he's no longer that.
He's now gotten a job. He's reformed. and it's good. When you look at it critically, he was looking for a job, but he didn't know how to say it. So... But that is okay.
But that's okay. So you still have the funny bone. I can see, Professor. Any last words for the Kenyans who are watching right now? They are very excited to see you coming, and seeing you in Nairobi even. I know you don't come often, and thank you so much for coming to Nairobi for this particular interview. So what is your message, to people who are watching right now?
I want to say this to the people of my motherland, Kenya. Those who are listening to me. We have no other country except this one, for which our forefathers secured it for us. Those men and women are no longer with us. They have gone. We are the generations of our time. Our children are actually beginning even to pick the mantles now. But let us shepherd one another to make sure that the ideals, what do we believe in as Kenyans, is trained and translated to our children. I want to see how the curriculum of Kenya schools is done in such a way that the patriotism about the Kenyan nation and Kenyan people, all the tribes, is taught from the day one in nursery school.
Yes.
So that you wake up my motherland, you wake up Kenya, you wake up everything. But now we seem to be forgetting. So I'm asking my senior brother, Minister Majogo, and everybody else, see how they can tighten it. So to the extent that when our children are exiting from at whatever level in their studies, they have put Kenya here. Should anything happen, the first thing they protect is Kenya. So that all other things can come. But when it reaches almost touching the heart of Kenya, we say no. And at this point, we are about to close it. So to me, we need to see how we can reactivate everything else, support the leaders that we have at the moment. Because if you want to be also respected tomorrow, respect those who are on the throne today. So this is the way we do it.
All right. Thank you so much. Great words from you, Professor. Governor on leave too. I really appreciate it. Say hi to everybody in West Pokot. Wasalamu kutoka Cheporwala.
Yeah, I will tell them.
Thank you so much, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be speaking to former West Pokot governor, but he calls himself governor on leave, so we'll wait to see about that. Professor John Prof. Lonyangapuo. All right, thank you so much for the feedback. We're going to take a short commercial break, but we're coming back with Willis the Word Master and our guest anchor. The show still goes on. Don't go away.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa a bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe, mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback ana sniff simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest of.
At what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority the bigger things.
Usikose kila Alhamis saa 1:30 jioni.
In a world where challenges are as common as opportunities, there are those who dare to defy the odds. They are the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about embracing uncertainty, pushing boundaries, and turning dreams into reality.
Hata mbao ni pesa ya kusave. Wallahi. Mbao mwaka ni pesa nyingi sana.
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
The way we run the business is in a very unforgiving way, where every team member has to bring out their best.
So, to all the dreamers, innovators, and risk takers out there, remember, being an entrepreneur isn't just a job, it's a way of life. Join the journey. Become an entrepreneur. The Grind, Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
Here on Beyond the Limit, we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of individuals who redefine possibilities. In a journey of resilience and determination, these individuals demonstrate that limitations are merely stepping stones to greatness.
I'm Nancy Njoroge, a mother of 3. I have 2 girls and a boy who is Clinton and who is autistic.
When my heart got healed, I decided to come out to be creating CP awareness. Let other people know that there is such a condition and that people that have it, you know that they are witches.
And welcome back to this Friday right here on TV47. Thank you so much for staying with us. All the comments I'm seeing about Professor Lonyangapuo, thank you so much for the comments. I'll be reading them later on. But for now, I'm here with our guest anchor for the night. Drum roll. Benedict Achok. Yes. Tell me about a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I am a comedian.
Make me laugh, please.
With the team from Ekebe Mimics.
Okay, so make me laugh now. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Sorry. Tell me more about yourself.
Okay.
Ekebesi. You said Ekebe?
Ekebe Mimics.
Okay.
Yeah, Ekebe Mimics is a team of 3 guys. Eric, Ken, and Ben.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you guys do?
We do comedy. We do voice impersonation of various characters within political sphere and also entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what can you say? Which voice impersonation or impression do you do the best?
I do former president. I do Raila.
Could you give us something small, like your favorite?
My favorite?
Yes.
Asanteni sana. Na leo nimefika hapa na tunataka tuambie watu wa Ingoa bandu ba isio murie. Murembe mno. Mrembe handi. Na sisi tumesema kwamba mimi nataka niambie mbunge wangu pale wa Kabuchai, Majimbo Karasinga, kuhakikisha kwamba watu wa nyumbani wapate unga ili wapate kuendelea na afya. Ama namna gani wenzangu? Thank you.
Another one for last day for former President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Former president.
Yes.
So I can imagine if at all there was a speech that the president could give, now concerning the protest now, he's coming now to give his press briefing.
Yes.
Fellow Kenyans, we are deeply sad with the situation in our country, which has seen the loss of lives and which has bring our country to a political animosity, which ensure that Kenya is going back to the dark days. But we, as the leaders, we need to come together to ensure we work for a common goal. And we need to bring country to achieve prosperity and transparency so that we may live in harmony, peace, keeping nation. Ama namna gani jameni? Na mimi nataka niwaambie safari hii tunataka tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumetembea na wale ambao wanasema ati sijui Uhuru ulienda ukapotea, sijui ulienda ukafanya nini, lakini mimi nataka niwaambie tuko pamoja kuhakikisha ya kwamba tumetenga nafasi ili kuhakikisha Wakenya wamepata nafasi katika serikali na vile vile katika nyadhifa mbalimbali za umma. Ama namna gani jameni? Hebu kwanza tusalimiane kwa hewa, tusalimiane. Asante.
Namna hiyo kabisa, that one for sure. Yeah, it's almost like he was here in studio.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So where do you normally perform? Where do you normally do these things?
Mostly, as for now, we've been doing online shows and also with the platforms you're getting, we've been to Churchill Show. Of course, Churchill Show is coming back, so we get to go back. Yeah, we missed the platform. We always say that if you are a content creator, you need to be, as a stand-up comedian, you need to be good on stage and also online.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, both platforms.
Yeah.
All right, so take us through this introduction. I don't know which what do you call it, accent you'll use or impersonation. Can we do it for Azimio leader Raila Odinga?
Let me do Baba.
Okay, there you go. Take it away, Benedict. Did you have to get the handkerchief?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So is this one?
Yes.
The Anti-Doping Agency of Kenya, ADAK, is determined to deliver a clean team to the forthcoming 2024 Olympic Games. ADAK head ADAK head of Anti-Doping Education and Research Martin No, nakimbia mbio. So the Anti-Doping Education and Research Martin Sisa noted that the agency has already done mandatory testing to all teams headed to the 2024 Summer Games in Paris. Sisa revealed that the testing started in September last year through the stipulated World Athletics deadline, which is 4th July. Speaking during the Sports Journalists Association of Kenya, SJK, anti-doping seminar, Dr. Sisa added that ADAC has already tested more than 4,135 athletes and reached out of 8,500 stakeholders in athletes alone. He noted that ADAC has also tested 1,348 athletes in other discipline and reached 16,512.
Undertakes to adopt measures.
Oh my goodness.
Whose measures include legislating, which Kenya has done, regulation, which is being done through the anti-doping agents of Kenya, and policies, other policies that govern the sports sector, and administrative practices that will be used to curtail the menace. In Kenya, athletics is a signatory source of national pride and international recognition, and the role of journalists is particularly very critical in this venture. By shining a light of doping practice and advocating for clean sport, they help to protect the integrity.
That was absolutely fantastic. I think that's the best one, by the way. Ina sound kabisa kama baba.
Yeah. I always say the moment you pick a character, you have to do everything that he does. Yeah. So maybe you can look from the facial expression,
yes,
movements, body language, everything.
All right. Yeah. Man, thank you so much. So such a pleasure having you coming on the show. How can we get you? Are you on, of course, I'm sure you're on all the platforms.
Yeah.
As Omosakhulu Matendechere.
Omosakhulu Matendechere, now my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And also all social media, Benedict Achok, all social media platforms.
Okay.
Instagram, X.
All right.
Mpaka
TikTok. Wapi OnlyFans.
Hey, OnlyFans ni sisi.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Thank you so much.
DStv.
Okay.
Yeah, itakuwa vibaya sana kama nimemwacha.
Okay. Sawa.
Kwa majina ni DStv aka Kolongolo mnyanya penda riba kutuma pengo. Tukua edisia maro sondo la inya na bongo mumia ujukua sapu shikana sub location mwana Victoria Songa na leo nimetembea hapa kwa Beti. Na amesema amewagotea. Watu wananisumbua ati yo Beti anasema aje? Hebu wape salamu. Asalimia kina Samir. Na Hillary. Na wengine unajua Waluya. Salamu naye ni mingi sana. A very beautiful this is Friday briefing. Till next time. Bye bye.
Yes, him and This is Friday with Betty. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the best. You guys, let's make sure we follow him on all the platforms and support and invite him to our events and, support good talent. All right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. So for now, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to Which is Which with Willis the Word Master. Thank you.
Kila kiongozi ana hadithi yake ya kipekee.
Wazazi wangu walikuwa bit strict kwa sababu mamangu mwenyewe mimi kutoka kuzaliwa sijailala nje.
The white small one, huyo ana sniff gunpowder na risasi na bomb. Alafu huyo mwingine ni ridgeback and sniff Simba.
Even the employees knows that. So when in the boardroom is the chairman, the CEO, and the rest
At
of.
what point are you a wife?
The minute you get to that inside that door, you become now the wife.
Na kila maamuzi wanayoyafanya hufichua mengi kuhusu utu wao na uongozi wao.
We see God blessing us, and we now realize the power of giving also has to be rewarded back.
Kupitia kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi, tunakuletea mahojiano ya kusisimua na uchambuzi wa kina kuhusu viongozi wetu.
Pick your core business as the bigger stones. Put them in your diary first. Give priority to bigger things.
All right, welcome back. Time for Which is Which with Willis Ochieng, joining us right and direct from Kisii County. Willis, how are you doing? We had such an action-packed show tonight, and I can't wait for the icing on the cake. How are you doing tonight? You well?
I'm cool, Betty, and there is something that before we carry on, Betty, what really makes you, because if it's reading news, it's like it's your best. You come to interviews, it's like you are at the top of everything. You come to now humor, like what you've just heard with a comedian,
yes.
It's just wow. What exactly is the secret behind this before we can talk tonight?
I don't know, maybe just, just make sure you drink your water. Thank you so much, Willis. I mean, I really appreciate the comments. So sweet of you.
You're welcome.
Don't make
You're
me blush
welcome.
on
You're
TV. So thank you so much, Willis. So let's begin.
You're welcome, Betty.
All right, let's begin tonight with our words. And this list tonight is very interesting. Last week, you really shocked us with some very interesting words like poignant. I remember that. So let's see tonight our first word being spontaneous. Is that the correct pronunciation, Willis?
That is the pronunciation of that word, Betty. You say spontaneous. Now that A in that word takes its name as A. And that is exactly the sound that you use. Don't say spontaneous. Spontaneous, yes. Okay. Spontaneous, no.
Okay, Willis, thanks for that. This next one is one that is used a lot on the internet, MEMES.
Oh, many people, Betty, innocently say memes. Memes, no.
Okay.
You say memes. Memes. That is the plural form.
Okay.
The singular form, meme.
Okay.
A meme.
Okay.
The plural, memes, not memes.
All right. I'm sure there are even people who say meme, but tonight at least they know the correct pronunciation of that word.
That's a possible one. But Betty, do you agree with me that we have the name meme locally? It's a local name.
Oh, yes.
Meme. But please, when it comes to English, you say meme and memes.
Okay.
But as a local name, we have meme, like Professor Meme.
Okay. Okay, got you, Willis. Thanks for that. Moving to this other one, do we say remedial classes, remedial classes?
Now, what you commonly hear locally is remedial. Medial,
yes.
No. That E takes the long high front sound E. Remedial.
Okay.
Not remedial, not remedial. Remedial.
Remedial. I love how you pronounce the words.
Yes.
Remedial. Oh my goodness, Willis. All right.
But sometimes you have to get the phonology of a word, that is the sound system correctly. So if you say remedial, it would be not very good. You say remedial, and you love it the way the sounding comes.
Absolutely, I love that. Moving on to this other word, C-O-L-O-N-E-L. Colonel, how do we go about that one?
Well, in Swahili or Kiswahili, if you like, you say kanali. Kanali so and so. But when you come to English, many people innocently mistake that this word is pronounced the way it is spelled, which is not the case. You say colonel, Colonel, not
Okay.
colonel. Colonel, no.
Okay.
Colonel.
Colonel. So, Willis, where does the L, the O, the E go to? Because, you know, it's almost like pronouncing it as like a C-A-N.
Now, what happens?
Yeah.
Yes, when you study English phonology and orthography, that is the spelling, orthography, sounds, phonology. Now, when you study the English orthography and phonology, you'll realize that certain words are not pronounced the way they are spelled. Not every letter in a word is phonetically significant, Betty. You'll find sometimes there are letters which combine to form a sound. Some letters are even silent. Then certain letters in words or even names normally take different sounds. Just like letter A, it can take sound A, like in the word pat.
Okay.
P-A-T, pat, or cat,
Yes.
C-A-T. The same letter A can take sound O in the word what. Do we say what? You say what. What are you saying? But the letter is A. So that is what accounts for that, Betty, when we come down to matters of language.
Okay. Interesting, Willis. Mwalimu kwa kweli. Okay.
Simply Willis. Just a Willis.
Just a Willis. Okay, Willis. Moving on to this other one. It's okay, Willis. Okay. I-M-M-I-G-R-A-T-I-O-N. Immigration. How do we go about that one?
Now, Betty, we don't say imai. We say immigration. We have the word migration from the verb to migrate. Migrate. Migration. But this one, we say not immigration the way some people always say.
Yes.
You say immigration, immigrants, not immigrants. Immigrants, immigration.
Okay. Immigration it is. Okay. Moving to this other one, M-E-N-U. Is it menu, or are you going to surprise us with a different pronunciation?
You've got it right, Betty.
Okay.
Menu. Menu.
Okay.
The U at the end takes that glide. U. New. Menu. Not menu.
Menu. Menu, right?
Menu.
Okay.
Not menu. And Betty, we also say news. News. Not news. 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 No. News.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
So this other one is environment. How is that how you pronounce it, Willis? Just simply environment?
Environment. Environment. That N is not silent, but you begin with the sounding in, then environment. Environment.
Wow, that's a surprise. Environment. So the N is actually heard.
Yes.
Okay. Environment.
Yeah,
okay.
the N is pronounced.
Okay.
Environment.
Such a surprise, Willis. And so, well, how about environs? Is it environs or environs as our last word from me?
You've got that right. Environs. The environs, not environs. Environs? No. Environs.
Okay, so environment and then environs. All right, that one we have to take note, especially, you know, as journalists going out to report, you know, where there's multitude of people, the environs.
Yes, but as I always say, Betty, you've mentioned journalists. But as I always say, Betty, whoever we are, we can never be perfect. We can never be spotless. Even the native speakers of English, sometimes they have problems with certain words because the language itself is not purely English. If you study its origin, you'll even go back to the Germanic dialects. And sometimes you'll also realize that certain words, which we call loan words, they are borrowed from other languages and used in English. So when it comes to their pronunciations, even people in England will struggle with them. And that is why I tell people, whenever you make any mistake in pronunciation, don't curse yourself. Just laugh it off and see a way of getting it right.
All right, absolutely. I could not say it better. That's it for me, Willis. Let's take a look at what you have for us. You're correcting us and motivating us.
Our
at the same
collections
time.
will go straight and yes, we have to do it. Betty, nobody can be perfect. Anyway, let's go to those who have sent in questions and the ones we collected throughout the week. Now, the first one, we have Peter Walker at It's Peter Walker of Mombasa. I have just seen him sending in something for you and me, and that is the word, which is a name, that is Linus. Linus. Very tricky, and Betty, names are tricky because of their origins.
Yes.
Sometimes when we come to English, we say Linus. You may find somebody, like in Latin, somebody may talk of Linus. Another person, Linus. But in English, this name is pronounced Linus. And Peter, I hope you've got that right.
All
and
right.
if you're the person who is keen on it. Now, Shekina at Munyao Ruth 15. From Lugari, you say Oregon, and the two names, listen carefully. Jeremiah and Sheribiah. Sheribiah, not Sherebiah and not Jeremiah. Jeremiah, Sheribiah. Then we have Yusuf Galmogle from Laisamis, Marsabit County. You say, oh, our brother, thank you for loving it that much, but you say midst, and archipelago, archipelago. Don't say archipelago. Archipelago and Theodore, Theodore, not Theodore. Postin Kerubo and Bahati Crescentia, you say quality and affluent. Quality, affluent. Don't say quality. Affluent, affluent. And we also have affluent if you may want to use that other word. Now, we have at Rabel or at Rabel wins from Kisumu. Nauseous, nauseous. Adam Hussein of Nairobi, often or often. Then we have Adam Onyango, Adam Hussein of Nairobi and Adam Onyango of Homa Bay. Homa Bay, my brother, you just say gubernatorial, not Gaba. Gubernatorial, no. Gubernatorial. Adam of Homa Bay. David Mutuma of Mariakani Kilifi, you say coupon. You have several words, but I have picked one to give other people a chance. Coupon. Coupon. Toyon at Kiplan 15, you say you. A you. Emmanuel Mbada, you say executive. You can also say executive. What we should avoid is executive. Executive, no. Executive, yes. Executive, yes. Kigan Koyuko, queue. Don't say kwewe. Queue. On the queue. Then among, not among. Betty, have you heard people saying amongst at any time in your life?
Absolutely. Amongst.
Amongst. But Betty, we say amongst. Amongst. Not amongst and not among.
Okay.
And we have Victor Mandela. You say Middlesbrough and Suriname. Suriname. Alphonse Oremo, Reservoir and Deity or Deity. Kilo John and Marcus Aurelius, Seas. Hamis Atman or Mumias, Luxury, or you can also say luxury, then laboratory. M.O. Rogers, 3 of Meru Town, brusqueness. Brusqueness. Isaac Karaoke of Nakuru, particular. Particular. Then particulate. Particulate. Wakili Jesse Kihoro of Juja Kiambu, Fiat. Fiat. Don't say Fiat. Wakili. Fiat. And then Waterloo. Waterloo. Then we have the people who really love English. We have Stanley Kimani of Nyanchwa Base and Linda Guata. That is Guada, not Guata. Linda Guada, keep it up. Stanley Kimani, keep it up. Jeff Munyao, Etiang Eli, Galge Diba, Bernard Ogoncho, Kenneth K. Kurgat, Constant Mwangasha, Phoebe Mweni, Chris Ray, Wanjiko Washeke, and Simiyu and Kevin Lokodokwang of West Pokot. A very big name, eh? Lokodokwang. Betty, can you say that?
Lokololwang.
Local, that's a tongue twister, Betty, and it's understood. You say Lokodokwang. That is from West Pokot. Otherwise, Betty, let me go straight to that surprise word for tonight. Unless You want us to go to the street where people test their tongues. Can I go on with this?
Yes, yes, we can go to word on the street. Let's listen to.
Let me carry on with this, and that is our surprise word for tonight,
Okay.
Betty.
That's
Many
all right.
people say worry. Don't say be wary. You say wary. Wary, not worry. Worry is W-O-R-R-Y. Now, wary, the first word. Wary. The second one, weary. Weary. To be tired, weary. Now, the last one, you have worry. Worry, confusing words. You only get them on this Friday with Betty, and the segment is which is which. Now, Betty, anything from your end before we continue?
All right, Willis, we just need to look at the first word which we started our show with. How do we go about that pronunciation?
Somi kitu inaitwa prerequisite. 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 Maana ya prerequisite ni ukiwa mahali inadila mambo na logistics. Yeah.
Naisema kama requisite. Yeah, requisite. Hiyo P ni silent.
Yeah, mimi naitwa Dotista Ino from Karamu Events. Wacha nisome hii word of the day ni requisite. I think hiyo P hiyo P iko silent hapo, ni requisite. Requisite, si prequisite. I guess tu, but wacha niseme tu niko sure. Requisite, yeah.
Atiwache niseme tu niko sure. Hey, Willis, we have another word master there. He says the P probably is not pronounced.
Betty.
Oh my goodness.
They have tried so nicely, but the pronunciation of that word is prerequisite. 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 That is what is required for something else to follow, or what is necessary in a given situation, a prerequisite to something. Just as I always say, Betty, today I had some very interesting clips from South Africa, Cape Town, where the word that we once handled on this show, and that makes me give a pat on the back or a special salute to the production team for this show.
Yes.
We handled that word conscientiously. If you could have listened today to what came from South Africa, Betty, when somebody told me that when Kenya sneezes, other parts of the world catch the cold, I agreed and referred to conscientiously. Because what came out, I don't know whether we could get that clip. If it is there, then I would humbly request that people can listen to what was coming from that parliament so that we can hear it if it is there.
Well, Willis, probably we'll do it next week because of interest of time. But I know that word gives people so many issues conscientiously.
Conscientiously, you've got it right, Betty. And those who want to send in more words, they can always reach me on at Willis Ochieng1. Because of time, we'll have it for you. And those who can check also TV47 platforms, I think you can get what was there in Kenya and you check what we've heard from South Africa. Otherwise, Betty, from my end, it's about saying, keep it up, my dear sister.
Thank you so much, Willis, the word master from Kisii County, teaching us the correct pronunciations. He's the word master. He's teaching us all those complicated words, including environment, all right? Tusiseme environment. Willis, the word master there. And that's where we wrap up the show tonight. It has been such a fantastic show. I can see so many, conversations everywhere. Somebody's asking, ask the professor where, let me just get that tweet, where did the Kijana Fupi Nono round go to? Well, the Prof told us that actually the guy got a job. The guy got a job. I think he even started a family. and he's now doing really, really well. So for everybody, I'm seeing so many people asking about him. So kijana fupi nonoran mulumwas. He is doing fantastic. So thank you so much, guys, for watching the show. I really appreciate the feedback. And of course, you guys watching. So we'll see you again next week. I'll miss you guys, but you know what? Keep it TV 47, home of untold stories. My name is Bessie Kialo. Good night. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.